with another video, man. So it looked like Andrew Berry did an exclusive interview speaking about the current state of the Browns, talk about next year, and he talks about this quarterback battle. This is something that we have to dive deep into right now. And I'm telling you right now, this whole Brown situation is getting very interesting. Now, the press conference was today, and what did we see? We see Shedeur Sanders being the first one to talk to the media. Now, I'm not saying he's the starter, but I am saying that's a little different. Now, Shedeur Sanders has been balling out. If you guys did not see some of the videos that we did on his mini camp, you might want to look at it. Deshaun Watson is not looking very good. He's throwing picks. Now, today they actually admitted he threw a pick. And with all that being said, let's head on over to YouTube. Check out this damn interview because it is very interesting. So this is from today. Let's roll it.
I so respect it, and I love the big swing that you guys are making. I think you guys nailed the draft last year. Obviously, we'll see how this year's class goes. You did well in free agency. Kind of take us through the philosophy of what the Cleveland Browns are building right now as we sit here in June 2026.
Yeah, so I think for us, we were if I could take you actually back to 2023 when we came off, our 11-win season, we were in the playoffs. We felt like we had a group that had been successful for us. We were excited about, but they were injured and probably coming to the end of their prime. We felt like going into 24, we had, a good team. We'd get our health back, and then we'd have to make some big decisions in 25. Unfortunately for us, 24 didn't go the way that we anticipated. In no world did we expect to be a 3-win team entering that season. And so at that point, we knew that, we were going to have to pivot. We were going to have to pivot strategically. We were going to come into a situation where, our draft resources were replenished, and we were going to have to transition away from many players that our fans had come to love and had granted us, playoff success in 2020 and 2023. And so our commitment was like, okay, we need to really, kind of rebuild the new foundation of kind of this next window of Browns players. And for us, as we think about 25 and at least what we've done in the 26 offseason, we're really pleased with where we sit. You mentioned our draft class last year, which we're really happy about in terms of that 25 group. We're excited about the guys that we brought in 26. Guys that we traded for like Tyson Campbell, or guys that we signed in free agency like Zion Johnson, who are young in their prime players, to grow with this group. Along with Jared, who obviously we just traded for last week. We feel like we're in a good spot. We're a young team, and that's certainly by design, and we'll certainly have our growing pains. But we are excited about this core and looking forward to seeing what they can do in the fall.
And Todd Monken comes in with a ton of experience. He's won everywhere he's coached. He brings in 2 young coordinators, and Rudy and Travis Switzer, who I'm curious to see how they do. I know those guys as assistant coaches. It feels like it's another era of the Browns right now. And then obviously all eyes go to the quarterback. How would you sum up what that situation is as we enter training camp next month?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's a new era. We have transitioned away from a lot of vets who have been known with our team for the past several years. In terms of quarterback, it's been good competition this spring between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. It's good to see Deshaun healthy, moving around, learning this new system. He's had a really strong spring. And Shedeur, he's made incredible strides over the last 8 weeks. Really pleased with his progress.
See, bro, I don't know about y'all, but to me, based on everything I've been hearing, like Shedeur probably finna be the starter. Because if he ain't the starter, they do a damn good poker face. That's all I'm saying. Everybody is doing the Todd Monken, Andrew Berry. They're all doing a damn good poker face. Now, we know who the reporter's saying, but he said incredible strides. That's what Andrew Berry just said. Incredible strides. Bruh, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying right now.
He's naturally accurate as a quarterback. His command of the operation, control of the huddle, all of those things, you can tell that with a year under his belt, he's making big strides. So we are looking forward to seeing how the competition plays out throughout training camp and the preseason games. But we're optimistic. We're cautiously optimistic on both players, and can't wait to see them in game settings.
You're the GM, you're the architect of this team. I said on the schedule release show on ESPN that the Browns, the Jets, and the Cardinals are in this spot where I almost fear they win too many games because I like the talent on the roster, and that gets them out of the quarterback top conversation next year. When you hear that as a GM, do you shudder and say, no, 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 the goal is to always win? Or do you think that's accurate that, hey, we're building something and it is a possibility that we do look at the college draft as a chance to get that next piece next year at the quarterback spot?
I think both things are true, Peter. But I also, it's not like at this point the draft supersedes what you can do in the fall, because I think a couple things. I think number one, the ability to compete every season is sacred. We owe that to the organization, we owe that to the players, we owe that to our fans. That doesn't mean that at times you don't have to make strategic decisions at the trade deadline or something along those lines. But we're always going to go into the fall, and we don't want to put a ceiling, on a team. Like I think when we went to the playoffs in 2020 and 2023, like our Vegas win totals were, may have been like 5 or 6 games. So like you don't know,
Yeah.
or rewind a year. How many people anticipated New England, being in the Super Bowl, being the AFC
Well, of course.
champions? Or that Washington, Kansas City, Cincinnati would be picking in the top 10. You just don't know how things are going to progress. And I think the beauty of our sport is the parity, and the fact that it's not like baseball, or maybe I would imagine a little bit hockey, where you have to have 5-year rebuilds to get a team back on track.
Yeah.
So I think the beauty of youth is like there is a level of like variance in the positive direction that makes you really excited going into the season. Also understanding that also there ends up being a little bit of a lower floor as well. So I like how we're positioned, because we're really excited about the players that we have going in the fall, and we're looking forward to winning as many games as we can. But also knowing that we are well stocked from like a resource standpoint as it pertains to the 27 through 29 drafts.
Are you one of the GMs who would spend a Saturday, say in like College Station, like scouting a guy or going to Ann Arbor? Or are you one who usually lets your regional guys do that and then, hey, let's go attack this once the season's over?
No, I do a lot. I do a fair amount throughout the fall. Actually, that's one of the Saturday games at a college venue. It's like it's one of the best parts of the job, in my opinion, because it
I love
allows you.
hearing this
Yeah,
because in such a film study combine, like I love that you like seeing it, you like touching the grass and you want to see them in that environment, right?
yeah, I do, and I think it's actually one of those things that not that this is like a trade secret, but I actually usually sit in the stands. I never go in the press box. I actually just buy a ticket and sit in the stands, because um, I prefer to I guess be immersed in the action, and like
Love it.
honestly have a better vantage point for the prospects. But it's great because it's like it's the purity of why you got into the business in the first place, or I should say this is the purity of why I got into the business in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's also like it's fun. It's like it's for 3 hours you can either not be on your phone, you can just be focused on football, not the next like crisis or like the next whatever issue you need to deal with, and you can just scout players, which is it's a luxury that's not often afforded in the general manager's chair.
Are you wearing team gear?